How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet,
this
I'm
girl,
one of the
Greta,
lucky
has
ones.
become the face of protests against climate change. Recently, many students around the Western world were encouraged to boycott school in what has been called a climate strike.
The climate strike, or the school strike for climate, really was led by a young girl from Sweden, Greta Thunberg, and these have taken millions of students out of schools where they could have been learning something helpful and given them nice breaks from school, usually excused absences. And the idea has been to get the attention of world leaders to get something really done to fight global warming.
People are suffering. People are dying.
It's been very interesting to watch this young teenager, Greta. She always, every time I see her, she seems like an angry young teenager. And I don't know how she got to be so angry, but she comes from a country, Sweden, which is very leftist in their policies. I think in the same country, a professor said that cure to this global climate change is we've got to eat babies, you know. So yeah, so there's all sorts of crazy things that are coming out.
What you have with Greta is a girl who's been made the public face of a much larger, very highly organized agenda driven by globalists like George Soros, driven by the renewable energy industry, the wind and solar industries, pouring money into this campaign because they realize that their survival as industries depends on persuading people around the world, especially political decision makers, that global warming is a disaster around the corner.
Many young people today are being frightened into thinking that virtually all the scientific experts supposedly agree we only have about 11 years left of life on this planet if we continue with the same amount of carbon emissions.
The fact of the matter is that when it comes to climate change, the United States is leading the globe. Leading the globe. It's really, I call it a red herring because we are only producing 5% of the air pollution across the globe. 95% are other countries. We are doing our part here. And we've got to talk to the big countries like China and say, what are you guys doing about climate change? Because you're the ones that are producing all the gases. And so, you know, I come from a biblical worldview, and we have got to care and steward our creation. And so I don't have any problem with caring about pollution, air pollution, and clean streams and waters and all that kind. We must do that. But it's got to be based in facts, and there's no conclusive facts that our climate is changing.
There have been several direct action protests of late by environmental extremists to call attention to the alleged crisis.
They appeared to come out of nowhere, but Extinction Rebellion now has the power to bring one of the world's most powerful cities to a standstill.
All of these protests to disrupt business as usual are predicated on the idea that the earth is fragile, that human activity is causing weather catastrophes, and that the science is settled, that if we don't act now, life as we know it will soon end.
Unfortunately, the climate alarmists, as I describe them, have found a mechanism to generate the type of social sentiment or public sentiment following climate alarmism that really isn't founded on anything that is scientific.
I think that everything is political, including climate change. And I think that we're going to have to endure it until the Democrats start suffering political losses due to climate change proposals that they're putting out there. So we have an excellent opportunity in 2020 to make the left pay a political price for their radical climate change proposals, such as the $97 trillion Green New Deal, where they're just throwing out things like getting rid of airplanes, getting rid of cars, getting rid of beef.
The Bible says the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. Many Christian scholars believe that God has created a stable, not a fragile world. And of course, we should be careful not to pollute it. But they disagree with the idea that we're just a decade away from extinction.
The idea that we have 10 or 12 years or something like that to live, that the earth will become uninhabitable in a short time unless we defeat this global warming, that is entirely off the radar of any serious climate scientists, regardless whether those climate scientists would be in what many people would call the alarmist camp about man-made global warming, or the skeptics camp. It's really popularizers who are spreading this notion of catastrophe around the corner. There's no scientific basis for it whatsoever.
And of course, those demands have been completely ignored, but we expected nothing less.
Many people do believe this. I find that when you're talking with actual climate scientists, geologists, oceanographers, atmospheric chemists and physicists and so on, you don't find, I think, anybody who believes the alarmist catastrophe around the corner message. Where you find this is with popularizers, with movement environmentalists, with people like Al Gore, politicians who see it as a way to promote their political careers. And again, the scientific basis for this is simply lacking.
And so the whole idea surrounding climate alarmism is really one that provides a backdrop for the consistent advancement of government seizing more power. You see things like Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal that uses the climate as the veneer for what really is the advancement of socialism. And I think that is a great example of what climate alarmists truly seek to accomplish. It's using climate as an excuse to seize more and more power for the government. And I see that as a very diabolical strategy to move the American populace and populists around the world away from the ideas of freedom.